Every evening the bowl looks the same, full, untouched. Somewhere between yesterday and today, an old dog stopped finishing his dinner, and no one noticed exactly when. Last month the collar sat snug. This week it slipped an extra hole. A small adjustment. The kind of change that's easy to explain away, one notch at a time. Running a hand along his spine, Maria feels ridges that weren't there in spring. Not sharp, not dramatic, just present, under fur that used to feel fuller. At 11 p.m., the question finally gets typed out, not spoken aloud to anyone. Just 5 words into a search bar, in a room gone quiet except for the screen's glow. A bathroom scale repurposed, 14 pounds down from the vet chart taped to the fridge, a number that turns a feeling into a fact in under 4 seconds.
Well, isn't he?
At the fence line, a neighbor pauses mid-sentence, eyes dropping to the dog's ribs before finishing her thought with something gentler than what she first meant to say. Taped to the fridge, a growth chart from 3 years ago. No one erased it. No one updated it either. It just stayed there, quietly wrong. Halfway down the block, the leash goes slack, not from stubbornness, from something closer to tiredness. A walk that used to take 20 minutes now ends at 10. No dramatic moment, just a woman at her kitchen table, phone face down, staring past it at a dog curled tighter than usual in the corner of the room. By morning, the search has narrowed to 5 possible explanations. Some harmless, some serious. Only one way to know which one applies here. He used to take the stairs 2 at a time. Now each step is deliberate, paused, recalculated. A body doing arithmetic it never had to do before. Strange detail, the kibble sits ignored, but a dropped piece of chicken disappears in seconds. Not a loss of appetite, something more selective than that. The water bowl now empties by mid-afternoon instead of by evening. A small shift in a daily ritual, easy to miss, impossible to ignore once counted. By 3 p.m., the light through the window has moved twice, and he hasn't. Sleep used to punctuate the day. Now it's beginning to define it. Toweling him off after a bath, Maria's hands map a body she thought she knew. Ribs, more countable than they should be, under fur still damp from the tub. The mail carrier passes. The bark comes 3 seconds late, softer than it used to be. A small delay that used to never exist. At the car door, he used to leap in before she'd even opened it fully. Today he waits, one paw raised, asking without asking for help he never needed before. In the pet aisle, she reads ingredient labels she's never bothered with before, comparing protein percentages like they might hold an answer. A tennis ball sits half buried in the grass, exactly where it landed 3 days ago. No one's chased it since. Same scale. 1 week later, a new number written beneath the last. The gap between them is small enough to argue with and large enough to worry about. For a moment she wonders if she's imagining it, seeing decline where there's only ordinary aging. The mirror doesn't answer. The notebook does. After 2 weeks of noticing, the call finally gets made. Not out of panic, out of the simple math of 5 symptoms adding up to 1 appointment. The first explanation is the gentlest. Metabolism naturally slows with age. Fewer calories get used for maintenance, and appetite quietly recalibrates to match. Picture a thermostat slightly lower each year. Nothing broken, nothing urgent, just a body asking for less fuel than it used to. 'Cause 2 hides in plain sight, a cracked molar, an inflamed gum line, pain sharp enough to make chewing something to avoid rather than enjoy. At home, it shows differently. Kibble pushed to one side of the mouth, dropped pieces left half-chewed, a head tilted to favor the good side. 'Cause 3 is quieter still, a food formulated for a younger, more active dog, heavy on filler, light on the protein an aging body actually needs. An older gut absorbs less efficiently than it once did. The same bowl of food simply delivers less to a body working harder to extract it. Because 4 isn't physical at all. A move, a new pet, a shifted routine. Stress that doesn't announce itself but sits heavy in an animal's gut. Under stress, digestion becomes secondary. A body braced for something stays braced, even at rest, even when nothing is actually wrong. The 5th cause carries more weight. Kidney or liver disease can quietly reduce appetite and burn muscle mass long before other signs appear. Results take 20 minutes, long enough for a waiting room clock to feel louder than it should, and for every worst-case scenario to surface briefly. 5 boxes on a printed sheet: metabolism, teeth, diet, stress, organ function. Not a diagnosis yet. A map of where to look next. A bathroom scale can track pounds, but it can't read blood work, can't feel a cracked molar, can't measure stress hormones. Numbers alone only tell half the story. Weight loss isn't only fat. Muscle along the spine and hips can quietly waste away first, changing how an old friend feels under your palm. Rarely does only one cause apply. Dental pain can worsen stress. Stress can suppress appetite further. The 5 boxes overlap more often than they stand alone.
He's doing great. Just keep an eye on this.
Understanding the cause is only step 1. What happens next depends on what's already been tried and why some of it hasn't worked. On a small whiteboard, Dr. Okafor sketches what's confirmed so far. Mild dental pain, early kidney values, 2 causes named, 3 still ruled out. The first instinct is simple. Add more food, a bigger scoop, a second helping, hoping volume alone can reverse what's happening. If a cracked tooth is the real cause, more food just means more chewing to avoid. The fix adds volume to a problem that was never about volume. Next comes softer bargaining, a piece of chicken here, butter toast there. Anything that gets eaten starts to feel like a small victory. But scraps train a preference. Soon the balanced food sits ignored, waiting for something richer, and the actual nutrition gap only widens. A switch to a pricier, senior formulated brand feels like real progress. New bag, new promises on the label, same underlying question left unanswered. 2 weeks later, the new bag sits half full, weight still dropping. If the cause was stress or an organ under strain, no formula was ever going to fix it. Worried about tiring him out, walks get shorter, stairs get avoided, and rest gets prioritized above almost everything else in the house. But muscle needs gentle use to maintain itself. Total rest protects comfort in the short term while quietly accelerating the very loss it was meant to prevent. The quietest fix is no fix at all. A follow-up appointment gets considered, then postponed, then considered again a week later. Each postponed week isn't neutral. It's more muscle lost, more time for a treatable cause to become a harder one, more distance between noticing and acting. More food, table scraps, a new brand, less activity, waiting. 4 well-meaning attempts, and still none of them aimed at an actual cause. The pattern is clear now. Guessing hasn't worked. What comes next has to start from the actual cause, not another hopeful guess. With blood work confirming mild kidney strain and a cracked molar, the plan finally has direction. 2 causes, 2 specific responses. The cracked molar gets extracted under anesthesia.
She's doing great. Vitals
a
are
small
holding
procedure
steady.
Addressing a source of pain that had gone
Heart rate is
unnoticed for
perfect,
weeks.
Dr. Okafor.
3 days later, the same bowl of kibble disappears without hesitation. No tilted head, no dropped pieces left scattered behind on the floor. This time, the new food isn't a guess. A vet-recommended formula, higher in digestible protein, portioned to match his actual metabolic needs. Instead of stopping activity altogether, short, gentle walks return, carefully paced to his ability rather than avoided entirely out of fear. Weeks in, her hand finds firmer muscle along his hip than it did before, small, gradual, but undeniably moving in the right direction. The scale, refilled with new entries, finally shows the line curving upward instead of down, one small gain building on the last. A follow-up panel shows kidney values stabilizing, not perfect but no longer worsening, manageable with the right food and monitoring. A checklist by the food bin, measured portions, a set walking time, a monthly weigh-in, nothing dramatic, just consistency doing quiet work. The late-night searches have stopped. In their place, a simple monthly note in her phone calendar, a habit instead of a worry. At the fence again,
Wow,
the
he
same
looks
neighbor
amazing.
pauses mid-sentence,
His coat is so
this time
shiny.
finishing it with a genuine compliment instead of a careful correction. At the same staircase from weeks ago, he takes the steps 2 at a time again, without pause, without recalculation. The same bowl from the very first scene sits empty by evening now, licked clean exactly the way it used to. Metabolism, teeth, diet, stress, and organ function. 5 different doors to check, and only one of them required real concern this time. If a bowl is going untouched, if ribs feel closer to the surface, the answer isn't more food or less activity. It's a vet visit, sooner rather than later. At the front desk, a simple thank you gets said out loud. Not for a miracle, just for the right questions asked at the right time. A year later, the same fence line, different season. Fuller leaves on the maple tree. A dog whose weight has held steady for months. The notebook that once tracked a worrying decline is nearly full now, page after page of steady numbers, an unremarkable, reassuring record. No milestone, no occasion, just an ordinary evening walk, the kind that used to be worth worrying over, and now simply isn't. What changed wasn't luck. It was noticing early, asking the right questions, and matching the fix to the actual cause instead of a guess. The collar sits back on its original notch, the one from before any of this started. A small detail, quietly telling the whole story. Some stories don't end with a dramatic turn. They end with a full bowl, a steady dog, and an evening that finally feels unremarkable again. If this documentary helped you notice something in your own dog, share it with someone who needs to see it. Comment your dog's story below and subscribe for more.